Hey everybody, this is Mike from EdgeNote 50 TV. Yes, EdgeNote 50 TV, talking about boxing. And boy, oh boy, do we have some news to talk about today. Well, where shall we start? Well, let's start at the heading, yeah? Like we got Tyson Fury announcement. Now, we thought that a lot of people thought that it was going to be Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder announcing their anticipated fight in May the 18th. However, Tyson Fury has thrown a big, massive curveball. He's announced that not only is the Wilder Fury 2 fight hasn't happened yet, that he's signed with rival network ESPN and extended his deal with Frank Warren. So, what do we have to say about that? Well. You know, I think my first opinion on this whole situation is the Joshua Miller fight is looking a lot good right now. I mean, when you're thinking about it, last week they announced Joshua Miller, and a lot of people was hating on that fight. They were saying it's terrible, it's terrible, it's terrible. But now, looking at it now, this week, Tyson Fury could potentially fight Pulev on ESPN, and Deontay Wilder's talking about fighting Konaki. So now the Joshua Miller fight is looking pretty good right now, I think. Let's go deep down into it. Let's just not play around. Let's go deep down into it. So, if you're watching this for the first time, hit that like button. If you're liking the show, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification button so you can listen to the shows. Also, you can follow my channel on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. So let's go straight into it. Now, what's happened is Tyson Fury has signed a co-promotional deal with Queensberry Promotions, which is Frank Warren's promotional company, and ESPN and Top Rank. So what that means is, as part of that deal, the money involved is allegedly 80 million. We don't have that. I don't know that for sure, but lots of reports are reporting it's an 80 million deal, and it's a 5-fight deal. So effectively, if it's 80 million and it's a 5-fight deal, then it's actually going to be $16 million per fight, which he is going to get under this deal. And part of that deal is that he has to fight twice in the US. So effectively, I don't know if he's going to be fighting in the UK anytime soon under that deal. So that's part of the new co-promotional deal with that. My first thoughts on it. Look, round of applause. Well done. Well done to Tyson Fury. Look, yeah, you have to think of number one. Yeah. Look, let's keep it real. Yeah. There's a lot of fans out there that were fans of Tyson Fury that were saying, Tyson Fury is the people's champ. He's the people. It's the people. Look, what this proved is that Tyson Fury is like any other boxer out there. Yeah. He's going out wanting to get the best deal for himself. And that's what he did. He got the best deal for himself, which, as a fighter, a prize fighter, which at the end of the day everybody is, that's what he's entitled to do. So, shall we hate on Tyson Fury for taking this offer? No. If someone offered me $80 million, I'm snapping their hand off. It's as simple as that. So you can't hate on Tyson Fury for doing it. It was a good business move. It was a strategic move, because out of the three, he's the only one that didn't have an official platform in the US for him to go on. And now he's in a good position. He's with the biggest sporting network in the world. And he is going to get the most exposure out of all the fighters in the US, compared to Deontay Wilder and compared to Anthony Joshua. So in regards to business-wise for Tyson Fury and in the business of Tyson Fury, it's a great deal. However, for the fans, in regards to the fans don't care about the money. We're not getting any of those money in our pockets. for the fans, it's not really, I don't think it is a good deal. Because now he's signed a deal with ESPN exclusive only to ESPN. So that means that all his fights will be exclusive to ESPN going forward, which means that if he's going to negotiate a fight with Deontay Wilder, it's going to be only on ESPN, or it's going to be a joint deal between ESPN and Showtime or Fox, which as people, if you're new to boxing, it's very, 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 very difficult to do. It's very difficult. Let me explain to you why it's very difficult to do. If you're a television network and you've invested a lot of money in a fighter, then it's not in your best interest for that fighter that you've invested a lot of money on to be fighting on a different platform. It doesn't not make any business sense. And the same for the Zone fighters, same for Showtime, Fox, all those fighters, exactly the same principle. So that's why it's going to be a lot more difficult. Now, if you're going to do a pay-per-view fight and then you split it with another network, for example, ESPN and Showtime, that means that you're only going to make half of what you would normally would have made if it was going to be on only one platform. So let's look at it like this. Let's break it down for 1 minute. You've got Tyson Fury. He's negotiated his deal with ESPN, puts him in a good position. Then you've got Showtime. They've invested a lot of money in the first Tyson Fury and Wilder fight. They done the press tour. They put the press conference on a boat. You know, they put them on all television platforms. They've pumped a lot of money and finances into this fight. The fight happened. A lot of people enjoyed it. Some people didn't. And they didn't make as much money as what they thought they were going to do. So now the excitement and buzz is there for the rematch. So they're thinking, okay, we've invested all this money in the first fight. So the rematch, hopefully we can make more money and we can make some of that money that we may have lost on the first fight. But now that Tyson Fury is signed with ESPN, now ESPN is going to say, actually, you're going to have to share that money that you were supposed to have made now with us. So Showtime, if I was Espinoza right now, I'll be absolutely ripping my hair out. Because now he has to this pay-per-view is either not going to happen, or he's going to have to split it with ESPN. Now there's some people out there will go, well, it has happened before. And the first thing they're going to say is, well, it happened before with Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao. Because Mayweather was with Showtime and Manny Pacquiao was with HBO. So they managed to negotiate and sort out a television deal. So why can't it happen with Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder? So let me explain to you something. Yeah? Let me explain to you something. I'll break this down for you real easy and real quick. Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao was a $500 million fight. $500 million fight. That's how much that fight made. $500 million. So if you're looking at it from a financial sense, if you split the television money between two networks 50-50, then each network is going to make $250 million between the networks. That's a lot of money and a lot of profit. So yes, if you're going to make a whole lot of money, then it makes financial sense to split it. But Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder is not Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather. They're not going to make $500 million in pay-per-view. They're not going to make $200 million in pay-per-view. They're not even going to make $100 million in pay-per-view. You'll be lucky, very lucky, if this fight makes $50 million in pay-per-view. So when you're thinking of a fight that could potentially make just $50 million, is it really in their network's best interest to split $50 million between two huge networks? You're just about breaking even enough as it is on one network, but you're splitting that on two networks. You're not going to hardly make any money. So then it comes to the point, is it worth making the fight if you're not going to make any money from the fight? So that's the dilemma that these networks have, and that's the complication that you have now that Tyson Fury has signed with ESPN. Now, for the fans now, we don't care about all of that. We just want the fights to happen. But the reality is that with Tyson Fury signing this deal, it's made it a lot more difficult and it's added an extra complication to the deal that's, you know, that would have otherwise would not have been there. Now, okay, that's the first up. Now, having saying all that, based on the interview, the press conference with Tyson Fury and Frank Warren and the subsequent interviews afterwards, they were talking about, okay, what's the status of the negotiations with Wilder, you know, in Shelley Finkel in regards to the negotiations? You know, and Frank Warren said, well, you know, we haven't spoken to them for over a week. We didn't really want to say anything because we were too busy negotiating the ESPN deal. But now the ESPN deal's out the way, we can start negotiations with Shelley Finkel and Deontay Wilder. Now, look, unless Frank Warren is lying, yeah, and they may announce this deal tomorrow and pull the wool over everybody's eyes. But if I'm believing word for word what Frank Warren is saying, he's saying to me that he's going to start negotiations with Deontay Wilder for May right now. So effectively, you're going to try and sort out one of the biggest fights this year, Wilder Fury, and you're going to start negotiations for that fight right now for May. Now, we know how long big super fights work out or takes for these big super fights to happen. So are we really realistically going to believe that this fight is going to happen? Effectively, if you need several, look, normally they announce fights and it leads fighters to have a 9-week or 8-week training camp. Yeah? Let's have a look. Hey, Tank Gainer Grip, how's it going? Let's have a look. He says, yeah, Frank and Aaron, most unreliable sources. I mean, look, Frank and Aaron, most unreliable sources. However, Frank and Aaron are working together. So this is the thing. This is the thing we have to look at. Now, like I said, who's online right now?
Yeah.
Hey, Hamid, how's it going? All right.
Yeah, I'm good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good. Yeah, we're talking about the Tyson Fury deal, if it's jeopardized the Wilder fight, and things like that. So, you know, obviously, I'm looking at the chat at the moment. Tank Gainer Grip is saying they literally throw narratives off on purpose. So he's saying that, you know, don't believe what Frank and Aaron says. The fight could already be made. You never know. So what is your opinion on this whole situation with Tyson Fury? Obviously, do you think it's good, or do you think it's bad news in regards to making the Deontay Wilder fight?
Oh, it's good for Fury personally, because let's get this right. Fury does not need the rematch. Fury is the one who even though he didn't get the decision, he exceeded expectation. Now, in my opinion, I thought Fury was going to win that fight, or I thought they're going to end in a controversial decision. But I thought Fury was the better boxer. But Fury was the guy that majority of people think won the fight. So I wouldn't say is that bad. Is it good in terms of an immediate rematch? Probably not. But I think Fury and Wilder will fight. I'm not too sure if they're gonna fight next, but I was reading they are still working on trying to sign up for the rematch next. But I I think I also read that Fury and Pulev could be a fight that's maybe next up for Fury because they're both on ESPN.
But this is the problem that they have now. This is the problem because this is very interesting development because we have to look at it like this. Like yes, this deal is a good deal for Tyson Fury. Look, someone's offering you 80 million. It's very hard to turn down. So I can understand Tyson Fury's point of view in regards to taking the money. But as boxing fans, we don't care about how much money's in their pocket. I don't care. I'm not getting that money. So at the end of the day, as a fan, this is going to put a spanner in the works in regards to the Deontay Wilder fight, because if what the offer is true, he's going to get $16 million per fight. $16 million was more that he got for the first Deontay Wilder fight. So really, he's going to get $16 million no matter who he fights.
But we've already seen...
He's going to fight. He could fight Pulev, or what's his name, Alvarez, or whatever his name is. Rivas, Oscar Rivas, and he'll get $16 million.
Yeah, but we've already seen this fight, so maybe Fury's already had this fight. Maybe he's looking at it from a long-term point of view, because I think the main thing this fight not happening next, and the reason the purse bid was called off, or what I read, was that Fury wasn't happy with being offered, I think, for the first fight, it was 50-50. They came to agreement. For the rematch, Wilder wanted 60-40, or I think it was Heyman, whoever. So I don't think Wilder's made... he's made a lot of bad decisions. He should have taken the offer with Joshua. I personally don't think that fight would have come to fruition. I just think there's too much stumbling blocks, but Wilder needed this rematch. He needed the fight, and I think his team let him down. For Fury, I think he's got the best deal. I mean, there's other fights as well. Let's not get it right. There's Lewis. I know these guys are on the other side of the block, and some of them already got fights. But Luis Ortiz is also still there. You got Dominic Brazil. I think Wilder will have to settle to fight someone like Dominic Brazil or Dillian White. I personally think he should try and fight one of those guys. Otherwise, he'll have to settle for Adam Kunaki, and that's a big step down. Even though I think Kunaki kind of deserves the fight. For Fury, I think Fury's got a couple of fights he can make with ESPN. They're not going to be big fights, but this is a guy who had 2.5 years off. So for him to come back and go in there and fight with Wilder and school him for 11 rounds or 10 out of those 11 rounds, majority of those rounds, before getting dropped and getting back up again, a draw. He could fight someone like a Rivas or a Pulev, and those are still good names. Fury,
but this is the problem. This is the problem you have to think about, because people last week, they were taking the mick out of AJ versus Miller. They were saying this is a terrible fight. Anthony Joshua is cherry picking. Anthony Joshua, he's sending rubbish offers to Wilder, Fury, and Dillian White, and now all of a sudden, we find out behind everybody's backs that Tyson Fury has negotiated his own deal with another network, and now this fight with Deontay Wilder may not happen. So now we was all anticipating a rematch between Wilder and Fury, and now we have to settle for Wilder versus Konaki and Tyson Fury versus Rivas. I'm not putting up with that nonsense.
Yeah. No, but what
I'm not buying that. I'm not buying that stuff.
Tyson Fury's not gonna get. No one can blame Tyson Fury. He just come back and fought the guy that Joshua should be fighting. I don't care whose fault it was. Whatever Wilder or Joshua Fury fought him, and Fury also fought Klitschko in his back garden, and he had 2.5 years off. Whatever, it was his own fault.
Yeah,
Whatever
but
problems.
that was
My
Tyson
point,
Fury's decision. That was
no,
Tyson
no,
Fury's decision, though.
but my point is, the main fight the world or the UK want to see is Fury and Joshua. Obviously, Joshua Wilder is still the big fight outside the UK. So
Yeah,
as long as
but the fight what everyone wanted to see was the Wilder Fury rematch. That's the fight that everybody wanted.
yeah,
Obviously, people want to see Joshua versus
but
Fury.
what if this draws closer the Joshua Wilder fight? I think it could be a good thing. I personally think.
Yeah, but the thing is, but that's if buts and maybes, because now, because when you're looking at it like this, the reason why they're saying we're not negotiating with AJ, because everyone is throwing shade at AJ. Look, thing is, everyone was saying AJ is this, AJ is that, AJ is cherry picking, AJ is stuck in because this and that and the other. Yeah, but then and then they're saying, oh, we're gonna make our fight with Tyson Fury and Wilder. We're not interested in AJ. We're gonna make Wilder Fury fight because that's gonna be the bigger fight. So everybody was expecting last week and this week, Monday, everybody was expecting Wilder Fury 2 to be announced for May. Everyone expected it, yeah? But this fight has not happened. So now, so now you're going to expect us as fans to say, okay, yeah, okay, I don't mind us not the fight Wilder 2 happens, and I'll watch Wilder versus Kaunaki and Fury versus Pulev. Really? I mean, I'm not putting up with that nonsense. You know, I'm not going to put up with that stuff.
Boxing fans have a choice. You don't have to pay for anything. You don't have to. You could choose what to watch. My point is this: Wilder's the one who's going to come off worse. Because I agree on that point, but I don't think Fury is going to be. I don't think he's going to lose any sleep over this because he's already fought Wilder.
Of course not. He's getting $80 million. He's not going to lose any sleep.
So the biggest loser is Wilder. Even though Joshua's got criticized, Joshua's still making a lot more money in that fight with Jarrell Miller. And let's not forget, Joshua holds all the aces. Apart from the WBC belt, and maybe a contingent of hardcore fans want to see. Obviously, he has to fight one of these guys because all three giants are undefeated and they're all in the prime. And they're the top three heavyweights, but Joshua does hold all the aces. The biggest loser for me, in my opinion, is Wilder, because I think they tried lowballing Fury in the rematch, because the fact that they accepted 50-50 in the first fight.
To be honest with you, I don't think. Look, like at the end of the day, it comes down to this. It comes down to this. I don't think they've come down. I don't think they tried to lowball Tyson Fury. The first fight was easily. The first fight was easily made. The first fight was easily made, and it was made very quickly. And Tyson Fury said, if two people want the fight, it can happen. Wilder said, if two people want the fight, it can happen. And the fight was done easily. But what's happened is different. Yeah, exactly. But the rematches hasn't been easy. And I think it's come down to Tyson Fury, because Deontay Wilder's stance has not changed. Tyson Fury's stock has risen because of the first fight. And what's happened is, I think, look, it makes sense, because at the end of the day, he went, because Deontay Wilder was like, the rematch. I want the rematch. And Tyson Fury's like, yeah, I want the rematch, but then I'm looking around. He's been texting Eddie Hearn, what can you offer me? And he's been going around to different people saying, give me the best offer. So obviously he's gone to ESPN behind everybody's back, because no one didn't know this deal was happening. And he's got an $80 million deal behind everybody's backs.
I know what he's trying to say, but what I'm trying to say is Wilder and his team, like, I'm not trying to put him down. They could have made this fight. They did hold the...
I don't think Tyson Fury had no intention of making this fight. Tyson Fury had no intention.
That's all speculation. There was leading up. There was weeks and weeks of negotiations.
No, because
Wait, let me just see this. Wilder and his team stole the purse bid, and they also these are stuff that Fury and his camp were saying. That's why they were open to other offers, because Wilder and his team wanted to get more leverage and more money, and they wanted to try and make more money. But
no, because that's not true, because they were gonna, if it went to purse bids, it would have been 60-40. So it would have been 60-40 in Wilder's favor. So either
that's what
way,
I'm trying to see.
He would have he was in a strong negotiation position anyways. It would have been 60-40. What happened is that Frank Warren and their team, they delayed it because they were negotiating the ESPN deal. That's why they delayed it. They delayed it, and Frank Warren said, I didn't speak to Deontay Wilder's team because I was too busy trying to do this ESPN deal. And that's basically what's happened.
I might have been a bit inaccurate with some of the stuff, but what my main thing I was trying to say was Wilder and his team should have been open to offers. They didn't even want to entertain the meeting with Joshua Hearn and that. You got to be open to other offers. You can't just rely on one option. This is what I was all saying all along. Fury had other options. Fury did not need the rematch. Fury does not need the rematch as much as Wilder. I think Wilder is in a now lose-lose situation. If he's going to fight someone like Konaki or Dominic Brazil, he's going to have to take less money and he's going to be in a risky fight. If he wins, he's not going to get much credit. I think the only other fight that Wilder could try and make if the Fury fight doesn't come off now, which it looks unlikely, is probably Dillian White, but he ain't
gonna be fighting Dillian White.
That's what I'm
saying. He done an interview on the Boxing Voice earlier on, saying that he's throwing Dillian White name out there. He ain't fighting Dillian White. Let's get that clear for the fans out there that think that Deontay Wilder's gonna fight Dillian White. That ain't happening.
Why did he throw his name out?
He just threw his name out there just to say, just for the sake of it, just because he's a name. As the name. But then he threw Kyle Naki on there. Kyle Naki's way down the food chain. He's like the third tier of fighters right now. And Deontay Wilder, why is he naming Kyle Naki?
I think that's an in-house fight. I think it's more likely. More likely that happens. Yeah.
But look, I mean, one thing you're right about is that. Who's going to be, Deontay Wilder's got the short end of the stick here. He's got the short end of the stick because, this is what Deontay Wilder, if I was Deontay Wilder, I'd be looking at this. Let's look at the landscape at the moment, yeah? Anthony Joshua has got a $35 million deal with the Zone to fight Jarrell Miller. Tyson Fury has got an $80 million 5-fight deal with ESPN. Deontay Wilder is on a fight-by-fight basis. And he might one fight get 2.5 million, or if he finds the right opponent, can get 8 million, maybe 9 million if he goes on pay-per-view. So if I'm Deontay Wilder, and if I was his team, and if his team is good and do their job properly, I'll be like, wait a minute, why is Tyson Fury, who's got no belt, earning more money than me? I need to negotiate with Showtime. I've been loyal to Showtime. Showtime better show me the money, or I'm going to go to the Zone. I'm going to go to ESPN and ask them how much you're going to offer me. Because if you're offering $6 million to Tyson Fury, how much money am I going to be getting? That's what I'll be doing if I was Deontay Wilder right now. Because Deontay Wilder's he's looking like a pauper right now compared to the other two people.
I do agree with you on that, but I also agree. I'm not really interested in any of these fights. Joshua Jarrell Miller, I'm not really interested. I wouldn't pay pay-per-view for that. I wouldn't even.
Technically,
I wouldn't even. Can I just say? I wouldn't really even. If I did watch that fight, I wouldn't be too mad. And the other two, I'm not really that interested as well. I think Fury depends who Fury fights. If Fury fights Pulev or someone like Luis Ortiz, Fury, or Joseph Parker in that realm, I'll kind of be interested because I think Fury, what he did with the Wilder fight, I still got interesting, but I wasn't too big on the rematch. I've already seen it. I wanted to see Joshua versus Fury or Joshua versus Wilder. Don't get me wrong, I'd rather see the rematch than Wilder and Konaki, but if Fury could get a good backup fight or not a bad matchup, then for Fury, in that point of view, it might be not too bad, but I don't think it's good for the heavyweight division, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is the thing. It's not really good for the heavyweight division at the moment. I mean, when we're looking at it, at the landscape as it is, look, I mean, you can't blame, it's very difficult, you can't blame Tyson Fury for taking this deal because there's a lot of money, but at the same time, I'm disappointed because I know by him signing this deal, it's going to make a lot of difference now. He's saying, you're coming. You have to come over to ESPN now. If you want this fight to happen, you have to come over to ESPN. So when you start talking like that, it's gonna make it a lot difficult to make this fight to happen. And let's look at it like this. You have to look at it like this. Look, let's look at it like this. Tyson Fury, he wants to be up there with AJ and Wilder in regards to the one making all the, wants to puff his chest and make all the noise, yeah? So then you have, what was it, ESPN, yeah? Number one. Then you've got Deontay Wilder. Now, people are saying, oh, is Deontay Wilder upset because of Tyson Fury having this deal? Yes and no. Number one, in regards to negotiating for the fight, no. I don't think Wilder cares too much, because at the end of the day, if it goes to purse bids, which he might say, let's do it, then he's going to get 60-40 off the split anyway. So if a big offer comes in, he's going to get 60-40 off the split. So Deontay Wilder is not going to get pissed off. The people that are going to be pissed off about this whole situation is going to be Showtime, Espinosa, and Al Heyman. They're the people that are going to be really pissed off about this. Because Espinosa's put his money, he's put his time, he's pushed Deontay Wilder to the limit, and now the person that you've pushed, the person that you've invested all your money in, could potentially be fighting on ESPN. I will be pissed. I will be pissed off.
Do you think it could happen on ESPN, or do you think it's impossible now?
I mean, this is the thing where it can happen. Like, if I was Deontay Wilder, and his management team, I would say take it to purse bids. I'll say take it to purse bids. I'm not negotiating nothing. I'm getting 60-40 no matter what. So I'm gonna take it to purse bids, and let's see where the dice may fall. But the risk is, if it goes to purse bids, then that means that Eddie Hearn and DAZN could go and bid for this fight. That means that they leave themselves wide open to fighting on another network other than ESPN. It could be DAZN that gets this fight. It could be NBC that takes this fight. So it could be other people that gets this fight. But if I was Deontay Wilder, I wouldn't care, because at the end of the day, as long as I'm getting paid, I don't care what platform I'm fighting on. But then if I'm ESPN, and I've invested all this money in Tyson Fury, am I gonna pay $80 million to fight to Tyson Fury so he can go and fight on DAZN or Showtime? That don't make no sense whatsoever, no business sense, and that's the problem. So I think, like, I'd hope that common sense prevails and ESPN and PBC and Showtime negotiate a deal. But historically, it's very difficult. Yeah? Because we all know that Spence and Crawford ain't getting made anytime soon. And Bob Arum has said that Al Heyman is a cancer. And Al Heyman and Bob Arum has got beef at the moment. And Al Heyman and Deontay Wilder is with Al Heyman. So realistically, is Bob Arum Bob Arum has to negotiate with Al Heyman, and they hate each other. So, how are they gonna make this fight if you've got two people that hate each other? Do you know what I mean? And then we have to split the pay-per-view. It's gonna be difficult, man. It's gonna be difficult. I cannot see. And Frank Warren, look, he's trying to say there's a chance it can happen, but I think that deep down, Frank Warren knows by signing this deal with ESPN that it killed the Wilder fight. It's killed it. It's killed the fight. Yeah, it's killed it. It's dead. It's over. It's going to be Pulev versus Tyson Fury in May, and it's going to be Wilder versus Kaunaki in May. That's basically what it is. And who knew? Who knew that Miller Joshua would be the biggest heavyweight fight this year? Hey, Aobs, how's it going? Hey, man, the fight is dead. Yes, pretty much. Yeah, that's what I believe. This fight is dead. Someone's just jumped on. Who's jumped in? Fight Doctor.
Fight Doctor in the house.
Hey, Fight Doctor, how's it going?
What's going on, brother?
Yeah, it's good, man. Look, we're just talking about Tyson Fury signing with ESPN, the Deontay Wilder fight. How has it affected the fight? That kind of thing. So, what's your opinion on it?
So there's some history between uh, Bob Arum, Lonesome Bob, and Al Heyman. So recently, uh, Bob Arum sued, the Top Rank sued Al Heyman for, I'm not quite sure, but it was a significant sum of money, maybe $100 million or however much it was. But so now that Tyson Fury is essentially aligned with Bob Arum, and then just listen, Bob Arum is the reason why Mayweather De La Hoya took so long to make. Floyd Mayweather had to leave Top Rank in order for that fight to be made. Bob Arum is the reason why Mayweather Pacquiao didn't happen in 2009, 2010, when both of those guys were at the peak of their power. So, history tells us that, and history tells me that this fight is essentially dead in the water, because of the history of Bob Arum, because of the history he has with Al Heyman, because, in my opinion, Bob Arum is just a greedy bastard. And honestly, he's just not looking out for what's best or what's in the best interest of boxing, but he's looking out for what's in his own best interest.
This is the thing. Let's have a look what Aobs is saying. He says, he said the fight is dead. He said it's been dragging, and now we know why. Fury said Wilder should fight AJ. He meant it, and it says we know. I mean, look, this is the situation. There's some people that may not understand the background between Al Heyman and Bob Arum. They don't like each other. That's an understatement. So now, because Tyson Fury signed with ESPN on Top Rank, now you're expecting Al Heyman to negotiate with Al Heyman to try to share a pay-per-view fight with Wilder and Fury. Now, if people don't know how that's going to turn out, let's ask how the Spence Crawford negotiations went. Oh, yeah,
they didn't.
Oh, it didn't go, didn't it? So. That's so people that don't know, that's the chances of that fight happening.
Now I'll be fair to Bob Arum. I don't think Arum is the reason why the Spence Crawford fight didn't happen. I think that was probably Spence's side, essentially realizing that they really don't need the Crawford fight. Listen.
But this is the problem, though. This is the problem with Tyson Fury still. Hey, Lawrence Williams, what's happening? We're just talking boxing. Tyson Fury, loads of news happening. But this is the problem with Tyson. This is the problem with Tyson Fury. Now he signed this deal. If this deal is correct, he's saying this is $80 million for 5 fights. So effectively, he's going to get $60 million per fight. Yeah. So he don't need to fight Deontay Wilder. He could fight. He's going to get $16 million no matter who he fights. So if he fights Pulev next, he's getting $16 million. If he fights Oscar Rivas, he's getting $16 million.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I had problems with connection, but...
okay, yeah, Hamid, yeah.
I was just going to say, though, if you leave it to Pushbid and try and make the fight, I think that's risky. I think Wilder's team will move on now. As soon as Fury's team withdraws, or start looking at other options, because I think Wilder will want to try and get a fight with someone else. I just can't see. I don't know. I can't see this fight being on ESPN. I just can't.
I mean, Wilder. Probably the thing is with Wilder. I'm sorry to interrupt. The fight
unless you do a joint pay-per-view,
because it's been mandated. Because this fight has been mandated. Then if Wilder pulls out, they'll strip him off the belt. So
he's not gonna pull out before Fury's team.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So he's gonna go straight to purse bids. He's gonna say, take it to purse bids. I get 60-40 split no matter what, anyways. So I'm just gonna go and do that. And then what Fury is gonna do is the whole reason why he signed with ESPN is to get a better deal. He's not happy with the 60-40 split. That's pretty much what it is. He's not happy with the 60-40 split. So if it goes to
Fury could withdraw from the purse bid or the fight anytime.
I think he's going to withdraw. I personally think he's going to withdraw because if it goes to purse bid, I think what's going to happen is, I think realistically, it's going to go to purse bid. It's going to go to purse bid, and then
I think Fury might withdraw before the purse bid. Sorry.
Yeah, he might withdraw.
So wait, so is the split actually 60-40? Because
if it goes
typically
to purse bid, it's 60-40.
Okay.
That's what they said, yeah. But the thing is, this is the thing, because he's going to do the math. He's getting $60 million per fight. The first fight, he didn't get 16. He got like $7 million. It was announced because he said he gave his money to charity, so it was like $7 million. So then, if he goes to purse bids, let's say DAZN wins it, let's say Showtime wins it. If Showtime wins it and he gets 60-40, and then the 40% split ends up being less than $60 million, he's gonna pull out. He's gonna pull out because if the
I think common sense would dictate that he would have to pull out. But listen, I think this is actually a good deal for Fury.
Yeah, it is,
to be completely honest. I mean,
it is a good deal. Yeah. Yeah, because it is a good deal. I mean, I'm not hating on Tyson Fury for the deal because, like I say, $80 million for 5 fights. That's a very, very good deal. You know, and not many heavyweight champions across history has been getting consistently $16 million per fight. You know, especially not without pay-per-view anyways. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So it's a very, very good deal.
Would you rather see Dillian Whyte and Wilder? Let's just assume that fight happens. Do you think that would be better? Because we've already seen the Fury-Wilder fight, and ideally I'd rather Fury wait until Wilder and Joshua fight.
I would like to see. I wouldn't mind seeing a Wilder versus White fight. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think it will happen.
Rather than say Dominic Brazil or Konecki,
because it's business wise, it's not going to make much business sense. Because then, because right now, because obviously we was talking, Fight Doctor, we was talking and saying who's end up worse off in this whole situation. Me and Hamid agreed that Deontay Wilder's ended up worse off in this situation because now he put all his eggs in the Tyson Fury basket. And he was like, I'm not negotiating with Joshua, I'm not negotiating, blah, 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 blah. And now he's like, now Tyson Fury's done his own deal. He could move on and fight someone else. He doesn't need Wilder no more, technically, other than the belt, but he doesn't need him. And then Deontay Wilder, who is he going to fight that's going to potentially make him the same money or more that he was going to earn fighting Tyson Fury?
I mean, well, there is the option of Stavern trilogy, so you never know.
So Anthony Joshua is making $30 million in his next fight, right?
Yep.
To fight Gerald Miller.
Yep. Tyson
Fury is guaranteed $16-17 million in his next fight to fight who knows who.
Yep.
And then that leaves Deontay Wilder essentially holding a short end of the stick. So I think the winner here is Tyson Fury. And then now you have to ask the question in any future negotiation with AJ from the Wilder side, what position does where's Wilder standing now? What type of leverage does he have in any potential negotiations with Joshua?
Wilder has nothing.
He doesn't have no leverage.
All he has is a belt.
This is see, Wilder and his team. Thing is, it comes down to pride. I listened to that interview, or he was on the Boxing Voice. I was listening to that interview, and it comes down to pride. He's very pride business. Okay, look, sometimes you need business people around you. You need a team of people around you that talks common sense into you. Yeah, because sometimes you're a little bit hard-headed. And sometimes you need some business people around you to talk business and say, look, okay, I know you're hard-headed about this, but this is the best move or the right move for you. And I don't think his team around him has said this is the right move for him. Because what happened was, this is what they planned to do. They planned it. They said, okay, they wasn't happy with the negotiations for the first time with AJ. So they thought, okay, we'll get Tyson Fury. He's weak. He's weak right now. He's fought 2 bums. We can take him.
That was essentially a cherry pick. But
But that's exactly. So that's what they thought. They thought it's come off 2-year layoff. He's fought bums. He didn't look good, and I think we can take him. He's a big enough name. We can take him. Same thing with Crawford and McCall, pretty much. So they said we can take him. So that's what they thought. So then what happened was Deontay Wilder didn't do the job he was supposed to do. If he did the job he was supposed to do and knocked out Fury, then he'll be fighting AJ right now, or fighting whatever right now. He'll be in a good position.
Or maybe he would have been looking at that $100 million contract from ESPN.
Yeah, mate, exactly.
I don't think Wilder would leave Showtime.
Maybe, but he would have been in a position to negotiate a better deal than what he is in the position that he's in now.
I don't think Wilder will be leaving Showtime because I think they've got some sort of loyalty there with
but like
Heyman, Espinoza. You got to consider Fury was a free agent. He wasn't aligned to any American.
No, but Deontay Wilder has said in an interview just now that he is a free agent. He can go anywhere he wants.
Yeah, he could go and fight anywhere, but I don't think he's gonna sign any contracts with.
Yeah, well,
100. He's aligned with the PBC. He's aligned with the PBC.
I think $100 million is enough money to cause anyone to question their loyalties.
Yeah, and if I was Deontay Wilder, I'll be questioning the loyalty because at the end of the day, if I'm Deontay Wilder, common sense would dictate, Anthony Joshua is fighting in the States. They call him Anthony Johnson. Yeah. They call him Anthony Johnson in the States, and he's getting $35 or $30 million to fight. Yeah. Tyson Fury is only fighting in the States. He's getting $16 million from ESPN. I'm Deontay Wilder. I'm the heavyweight champion of the world. I've been fighting in the States how many times? And I went on pay-per-view with Tyson Fury, and I ain't getting them kind of money. If I was him, I'll be speaking to my team. I'll say, look, go to the Zone, go to ESPN, and ask them how much they're gonna offer me, the heavyweight champion of the world. That's what I'll be saying right now. If I was in Deontay Wilder's position, because right now it's not gonna cut it. He could be fighting Karl Naki next and earning $2.5 million, while Tyson Fury is earning 16 fighting Oscar Rivas.
Yeah. I think Wilder's made a lot of bad decisions. A lot. The whole deal with, I'm not going to get into it, but with Joshua, the fact he accepted 50-50 with Fury, but he demanded, I think, 50-50 or 60-40 with Joshua. Wilder hasn't really got a good business brain, and a lot of the guys around him as well. I think it's too many guys with too many hats. I don't think he's got that one promoter or one businessman that does the deals. Like, you look with Joshua, he's got him. You look with, I know there's other people around behind the scenes, but you know, there's one guy that's normally pulling the strings. You look with Fury, there's Frank Warren. With Wilder, you got Lou DiBella, you got Kelly Finkel, you got Al Heyman, and I think this has caused him to make some bad decisions business-wise.
I don't think Deontay Wilder's making the decision. It's his team that's made the decisions. Let's have a look. Ayob saying that Wilder thought he was smart, but Fury played him. Yes, Fury did play him. Yeah, Fury was playing the fields while Wilder was banking on the Tyson Fury fight. He thought it was him and Fury versus AJ, but this is business. He's naive, and that's why his career shambles. I wouldn't say it's a shambles. I mean, he still makes decent money. Wilder said on TBV that he's free to go on any network. Yeah, exactly. I heard that interview. And yeah, he's free to go on any platform, any network. However, would allow him to do that? That's another thing. How many managers Wilder's got? He's getting robbed. This is the problem with American fighters. A lot of American fighters at the moment. And it's happening with Big Baby Miller, where you've got loads of different promoters, and they're not thinking about the fighter's best interest. They're thinking about how much of a cut I'm gonna get. And I've seen that with Gerald Miller having issues with promotional issues. Demetrius Andrade had some promotional issues as well. And there's lots of fighters that's having promotional issues and manager issues as well, with different managers having issues as well. And I think that having I don't understand why, still up until this point, you need 3 or 4 different managers. It doesn't make any sense to me.
But this doesn't mean that Fury's ducking him. I've already seen channels on YouTube, the famous LDBC, the guys with, who are very close and loyal to Wilder.
Yeah.
Fury fought him after coming off a 2-year layoff and essentially didn't fight a live body for 3 years. So if Fury does go down a different route, I don't think you could blame him. He fought Wilder in America and essentially got robbed. I thought he won, but I don't think it was the worst decision. But I thought Fury won. It was a draw. I don't think Fury will want to go back to America again to fight him. So I don't think you could say Fury ducked him. Like he already fought him and arguably beat him as well. So I think Wilder could have made the effort to come to the UK and entertain the rematch in the UK. I think he shut it down straight away. Like he had no interest in.
I mean, look. This is the thing. Like, it is wild. If Fury pulls out, and fights Pulev, is it a duck? And then Wilder's. They asked Wilder this in the interview when they interviewed him earlier on today on TBV, and he said it's not a duck. If he goes and fights Povetkin, then it's going to be for the IBF mandatory. Then it's going to be mandatory for Tyson.
You mean Pulev?
No, sorry, Pulev. Sorry, that means it's going to be mandatory for Anthony Joshua. But that doesn't make any sense, because if you go and fight Pulev for the IBF mandatory,
I think it does make sense. I think it makes sense.
No, because the split is going to be, if you're pissed off over 60-40, the IBF is going to be 75-25, maybe 70-30.
Oh yeah. In that
then
sense,
why are you going to accept? Why are you going to reject 60-40 to go and fight Pulev and then get a potential match with AJ for 25-75? That makes no sense. And then if I'm Pulev, I had a chance to type with AJ, and he pulled out through injury. Why am I going to allow my mandatory that I've been waiting long for? He's been waiting long for this mandatory, so then he can go and fight for Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury take it away from him. That ain't gonna happen. I'm telling you now. Don't be surprised if he fights Oscar Rivas next. Don't be surprised if Fury versus Oscar Rivas next.
What happens if Dominic and Brazil and Dylan White agree to fight? Fury pulls out the mandatory with Wilder. Who's next in line? Does Wilder get a voluntary with Konaki?
It's Adam Kownacki. Adam Kownacki is going to be.
I hope I don't see.
That's the fight that's going to happen, because Dominic Brazil. Because what happens is Dominic Brazil and Dylan White, that's been mandated to happen. So that's going to happen in June, July. So then what's going to happen is Deontay Wilder is going to fight the next. He's going to have a voluntary defense, and he's going to fight Kownacki next. That's going to be the voluntary defense he's going to have, because he's already named him. He's named him quite a few times, Kownacki, and that's the fight he's going to take.
I think there are some couple of names he could still fight, like Joseph Parker. There's the odd few names. I know it's not going to happen, but it's still there are the odd few names in the top 10. I mean, he could even rematch Luis Ortiz. I still think a lot of people would probably be interested in that. So,
well, listen, what about Vladimir Klitschko?
Nah, that's not.
That ain't gonna happen. That is a long shot and a half. I mean, Klitschko would. I feel like Klitschko would take it, but I don't think that Wilder would take it.
I think Klitschko might even beat him.
But at this point, what choice? I mean, what other choices he have? I mean, at the end of the day, Klitschko has a name.
Yeah, but it's not up to him. It's up to Klitschko.
I think realistically, it's going to be Ortiz, or it's going to be Kownacki. But I think the problem with the Ortiz, they haven't pushed Ortiz. Look, he's fighting. He's been since the loss to Wilder. He's been fighting on undercards, fighting against bums. Like, he's fighting Christian Hammer next. He fought Kajanu, and he fought who else did he fight before that? He fought Kaufman. So they're not pushing Ortiz. Is what they should do.
What happens if Dylan White doesn't get the fight with Brazil and Dominic Brazil fights Wilder?
No, it will happen. It will happen.
No, what if Fury pulls out and Brazil steps into fight Wilder? Who will Dilla
No, he
White?
can't. He can't do that because it's eliminate for the interim belt. They're gonna have to do the eliminate. They can't do that. He can't.
Oh, they can't do that. They are.
No. They can't. It's been mandated for the interim belt. So they have to fight. So whoever wins that is gonna fight the winner. Is gonna fight Deontay Wilder. So Deontay Wilder, if Fury pulls out, that means that he's gonna have a voluntary defense, and then after that voluntary defense, whoever wins out of Wilder, White and Brazil would face Deontay Wilder, unless the only way that the fight doesn't happen unless Deontay Wilder decides to go for unification with Anthony Joshua. Now, if I was Deontay Wilder's team, let's have a look at the chat. So Ob's saying, I don't, to be honest, Fury is stuck in. I don't blame him though. He's just coming back from drugs and he's not fully fit. Look at Wilder like his side dish. The goal has always been AJ. Would be hilarious if Klitschko knocks him out. And because now Wilder picks Brazil as a voluntary.
Do you think? Can I ask a question?
Yeah,
Do you think Anthony Joshua and his team missed the boat? Because if they waited, they could have negotiated now with Wilder. Because I think Wilder might be desperate, like to make a big fight. Because if Fury backtracks and goes for other options.
I don't think they missed the boat because they tried to negotiate with Wilder's team ages ago. They tried to negotiate. They wasn't interested at all. And this is the problem I have with Wilder's team. If Wilder, they should be Wilder. Forget Wilder. Look, Wilder, he's got pride and all that stuff. Whatever. If I'm the manager, my responsibility is to put the best offers on the table for my client. Yeah. And my job is responsibility as a manager is to go and seek out the best offer for my for my team. Do you know what I mean? So as a manager, I'll be going to Eddie Hearn saying, what offers can you put on the table? This is what we want. This is what we want to negotiate. What can you do for us? And then I go to Fury. Then I go to whoever and then say, this is what we can do for you in regards to your next move. This is what you should do as a management team. I don't think they've done that at all. There's we're not talking to Eddie Hearn at all. We're just focusing on Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury's basically screwed you over, mate. Tyson Fury's basically screwed you over big time. And now Wilder's stuck now. He's stuck. Obviously, he's saying he's talking on he's been speaking saying, "Oh, I've got loads of options. I can still fight people." Yeah. You've got loads of options. You do. You can fight more bums and fight more nobodies. But you're not going to get the same kind of money that you was going to get if you fought Tyson Fury AJ. Simple.
Do you think Fury and Luis Ortiz fight is possible?
Huh?
Fury and Luis Ortiz.
I think that's what I think it will be. I think if Fury pulls out, I mean, look, at the moment...
No. Fury and Luis Ortiz.
No, that won't happen.
Exactly.
That's not what happened. It's on the other side of the fence. So I don't think that's going to happen. Especially this is what I mean. The relationship between Al Heyman and Bob Arum is not very good at all. Bob Arum called in that press conference with Amir Khan. Bob Arum called Al Heyman a cancer. He's a cancer to boxing. The
irony.
I don't mind seeing the Luis Ortiz Wilder rematch. I thought the first fight was very good. I thought that was a better fight than the Fury fight. Take the 12th round out of the Fury Wilder fight. I don't think Fury Wilder was a better fight than the Luis Ortiz and Deontay Wilder fight. That was a really good fight, if I'm being honest. The Wilder Fury. I know Wilder and Ortiz did have a couple of rounds in the early stages where it was quite tentative, but from the round where Wilder dropped him till the end, that was a really good fight. I thought it was a very good heavyweight fight, and I won't mind seeing that. But if Wilder could get a fight with someone like Dilla White or Joseph Parker, I won't mind seeing that as well.
I mean, look, at the moment, it's all speculation. Who knows? Tomorrow they could say, was only joking. Wilder and Fury is happening for 8th of May. It's going to be a joint pay-per-view between ESPN and Showtime. So who knows? They could come out and they could say that. Yeah. If they do, then I'll be very, very, very shocked. I'll be very, very, very shocked if that happens.
What about Povetkin? Or is Usyk and Povetkin the fight that they're gonna make? Because Povetkin is still not a bad clear top 10 heavyweight, in my opinion, top 6, 7, 8, and I don't know
Who?
that
Povetkin and who?
Povetkin Wilder. There is some history. Maybe someone like that would Wilder, if he could get a voluntary. Do you think he'd, or is it gonna be Konaki?
No, I think it's gonna be. They're gonna keep it in house. They're gonna keep it in house. It's gonna be Kolnaki versus. It's gonna be Kolnaki or Ortiz. I think it's
On
gonna be
pay
one
per
of those two
view?
next.
Would that be on pay per view?
I think it'll be on normal TV. I don't think it'll be pay per view. I don't think that. I think that the thing is that Wilder already said in the interview that he will be happy to go back into normal TV again if it's not Fury. It's just bad. It's not good for him and his it's not good for him and his momentum. Because the whole point was you built the momentum towards. You had a good fight the first fight, and now you was gonna build that momentum and all the hype and everything for the rematch, and then there's gonna be a rematch in May. So the hype and the build up was supposed to be there, but if that fight doesn't happen, then he's gonna lose that momentum. He's gonna lose that momentum.
Why they wouldn't even entertain negotiations with Joshua? Because you look at it. Look, he fought Luis Ortiz. He got his big standout performance. Not marquee name, but he got a name on his resume. He's someone who's respectable. He beat him, knocked him out in a good, entertaining fight of the year candidate, one of the best top 10 fights. Then he gets a marquee name, a big name with Fury, first pay per view. Okay, he doesn't win the fight, but he didn't lose the fight, and it was entertaining back and forth fight. And then why didn't they entertain the Joshua fight? Because I think that was a window where Wilder could have capitalized. And if they made the fight, Wilder also holds the ace. He could also become an undisputed champion. Now, Joshua said he tried making the fight, and Wilder and his team didn't. They wanted to go back and fight Fury, which is fair enough in a rematch. But you should always keep your options open. And I think right now, Wilder I think, or maybe not Wilder, but his team, they kind of shot themselves in the foot because, in my opinion, is Fury or bust. If they don't get the fight with Fury, they're gonna have to step down a big level. Like they're gonna have to go back to fighting guys. I agree. I think Konaki's like a C or D level opponent.
Hey guys, if you guys liking the show, hit that like button. Click that like button if you're liking the show. If you're watching it for the first time, hit that subscribe button. We do these shows every week or a couple of times a week. Yes, look, I mean, the reason why they haven't bothered negotiating, it comes down to, I think it comes down to pride and lack of business sense. I think it comes down to lack of business sense. And I think they've made it personal when it didn't need to be personal. At the end of the day, It's just business. That's why I can't really hate on Tyson Fury too much. If he pulls out of this deal and moves and fights for Pulev or Rivas, then yes, is he ducking? Yes, he's a duck. But then at the same time, you can understand it at the same time. But with Deontay Wilder, he has to treat it as like a business. Deontay Wilder's too emotional. He's too emotional. That's fair enough. He can be the emotional one because he's getting in the ring and fighting. But that's why you need people with wise heads around you, the wise heads, the even heads around you to be like, okay, Wilder, I know you're a little bit emotional right now, but I'm going to handle the business side of things and I'm going to sort out the negotiations and I'm going to make sure I get the best deal for you. And then Deontay Wilder can be all in his feelings, be it all Drake all in his feelings or whatnot, and then and his team can negotiate with Eddie Hearn the best deal for him, and that's what they should. That's what should have happened. But instead, he's let his emotions get the better of him, and because of that, he's left with pie in his face. I think, he's left with pie in his face. And
do you think Fury could fight anyone with that 80 million deal?
That's the problem, because when it's like the Canelo, it's similar to a Canelo deal. He's getting 365 million, and part of that deal is he's gonna get that no matter who he fights. So, and that's the same thing with Tyson Fury. He's going to get 60 million. If he fights Oscar Rivas, he's getting $16 million. If he fights Pulev, he's getting $16 million.
That's what I'm trying to see. So Fury holds some leverage now, isn't it? So Fury could fight anyone he wants.
Fury can fight. That's what I mean. So Fury holds the leverage, which is the problem, and that's what it. And you know, look, and that's what it comes down to. It comes down to, you know, all comes down to whether Tyson Fury, if it goes to purse bids, is willing to take less than what is guaranteed already with ESPN to make this fight happen. Knowing Tyson Fury, I don't think so. I don't think that's going to happen.
What do you think there's more chance of Wilder giving up his WBC belt or Wilder Joshua happening in 2019?
No, I think if I was Wilder, I'll soften my.
So go
on.
So what's more likely? Do you think he'd pull out a purse bid and give up not him, but you know, Al Heyman? They have done this in the past with, I know it's only Peter Quillam, but they did end up vacating their belt. But do you think there's more chance of that happening than a Wilder Joshua fight happening in 2019? I
think that pulling out would be the last option. Pulling out will be the last option. I don't think it will be, you know, I think Wilder's in a good position. He doesn't need to pull out. He's got 60-40 split. So he'll go to purse bids and just play the cards that are dealt. He's gonna get a good money no matter where he lands because he's getting the higher end of the stick. Tyson Fury is the one that's got the 40%. Where he goes, he might not get a good 40% split. The 40% might end up being 10 million. It might end up being 7 million. You know, it might not be good at all. So Tyson Fury is the one. It depends on where he ends up. If he gets a good amount of money, he'll take the fight. If he gets less than what is guaranteed already with ESPN, he's not going to take it. And then that's going to leave Wilder having to fight somebody else. You know, but it's all speculation at this point. Who knows? They could negotiate a good deal. But based on what Frank Warren is saying in the interview, he's saying now this ESPN deal is done, they're starting from scratch. They're negotiating from scratch pretty much now. So I just me personally, I don't think that this fight is going to get made. I just don't think it will. I hope it does, but I don't think there's too many obstacles now. That
I think it'll get made, just not right now.
Yeah, no immediately.
That's what I mean. I don't think it'll be made right now. I don't think it'll be made right now. So I think, which is disappointing because now people have started eating their words, man. Because you know who would have thought that Miller Joshua will be the big fight of the summer?
I'm not looking forward to that.
This time last week, everybody I posted on my social media. Everybody on my social media was hating Joshua Miller. They were hating it. They were saying this is terrible. AJ's cherry picking. AJ this, AJ that, AJ that. And do you know why they were hating it? Because they thought that Fury versus Wilder was going to get announced next week, and that's going to be the main fight. But now that fight's not going to happen. Well, Wilder's going to face Kalnaki, and Fury's going to fight Pulev or Rivas. So now, whoa, the Miller fight is looking pretty good right now, ain't it? Do you know what I mean? It's like when you have a girl, you have a girlfriend, and then you see the nice, pretty girl like in the other room, and then you're like, oh, she looks alright. You know what I mean? Like, so you go and talk to her, and you find out actually she ain't really all that. Like, actually, yeah. Then you realize that the girl that you had before, she's looking pretty good right now. And that's pretty much what the situation is at the moment. So everyone's going to appreciate AJ now and say, you know what? It might not be the best fight, but we'll take it.
I got a feeling something weird might happen. I think Usyk and Wilder might happen.
No, I don't think so.
I think something like that could happen. I don't think it will, but I think it could happen. I think there's a possibility. I just got a feeling something crazy will happen. I think Hearn might try and make an attempt to make the fight, but he'll try and throw in one of his fighters or someone he promotes. I think that'd be risky though. I think that'd be risky because then he's gonna kill off a fight between Joshua and Usyk if Usyk loses to Wilder.
If the thing is, if I was Wilder's position right now, if Fury pulls out, then I'll say I'll fight a voluntary, and then I'll go straight in with AJ afterwards. I'll say, forget Fury. You screwed me over. I'm going straight for the unification fight with AJ. Straight. Do you know what I mean? Fight a voluntary against Kwolnaki, beat Kwolnaki, and then go straight into at the end of the year, go straight in with Anthony Joshua.
What's going on, people? What's happening?
Hey.
What's going on? What's up? What's up?
EJ Boxing. How's it going?
Hey, you know what? Hey, it's great. Hey, this is good for boxing because when I was at the press conference, Hamid jumped off straight away and he don't want that work, innit? Hamid ran like a rat, bro. Listen to this, right? So ESPN have got Tyson Fury with Frank Warren.
Yeah.
It's good for boxing because it's more like when HBO and Showtime was there. So now you've got two networks, yeah? So the negotiations, there's going to be more money in it. This is going to be better for boxing. So the negotiations are going to be good. It's probably, now I know probably it's going to be in America. It should be. And they're making sure there's going to be a massive event. If Bob Arum's involved and you have Al Heyman, they're going to work together. It's going to be good for the bell boxing. I think it's going to be good, man. And I think hopefully Al Heyman can get Spence and we can get Crawford together. You know what I mean?
But that's the problem. This is the thing. Al Heyman and Bob Arum, they don't like each other.
No, it's not. No, you don't understand about what. You don't understand. If he's gonna fight, he's gone over there to make the fight with him, but they're gonna make it a mega event. When ESPN's involved, that's another network. So I don't want to hear that bullshit about it's not gonna work. Right? You're talking silly. The fight's gonna happen, but it's gonna have ESPN and you have Showtime. So now they're gonna work together for this fight. So it's gonna be great. Because
okay then. Okay. In the ideal world, but let's
talk
about.
I'm asking you quickly. Fury and Wilder not gonna happen. The rematch is it gonna happen? Yes or no?
I don't think it's gonna happen.
Oh, well, yes, it is, man. Of course,
I hope it does. I hope it does. Look,
no, you don't need to hope. You don't need to hope it's gonna happen because they go with ESPN to make it a bigger thing in America. And also, listen to this, right? It's a chess move because now they've teamed up with ESPN. Because remember the zone as well. Because look, Showtime and ESPN don't really like the zone. They don't really like it. Who's the zone? So now you've got the two other networks teaming up to make sure they control the market. You understand what I'm trying to say to you? That's why. This is why they've teamed up. They've obviously, they've already all organized it. We're with ESPN, make it massive, cover all the networks, make it a mega fight, and the zone gets pushed out in the cold. Because they don't like, they can see with the zone coming their money, and Eddie Hearn, and it's a problem, isn't it? So that's why, if you can't beat them, join them. That's what's happened here. And I think it's going to be good for boxing because at the end of the day, Al Heyman and Bob Arum work together. So now we can try and get the other matchups together, which is good for boxing. Because at the end of the day, that's all everyone wants to see. And it is, you know why it's easy to make? Because Al Heyman was on ESPN. He was the one who started ESPN, put boxing. He took that slot from the fight nights and put his fighters on ESPN. And Bob Arum took over that slot. So it's very easy for them to work together at this point. It's not hard. So there you go. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
That's good. That's good to know about that. You're happy about that. But look,
it's a good thing for boxing.
Look. Like I said earlier, I'm not hating on Fury for this deal because it's a good deal. It's a good business deal for him, and it's a good for him in total. But then at the same time, you have to think about it like this as well. Like, yes, I understand, ESPN and Showtime, work together and then come by but let's not pretend that these deals are easy. It's always been difficult. Yeah, let's look at the last time like a super fight happened between two networks. Yeah, HBO and Showtime. How long did that take for it to happen? You know what I mean?
I mean, do you know how many times that's happened?
How many times that happened?
I'm asking you. Do you know how many times it happened?
What?
HBO and Showtime. How many times has it happened?
HBO and Showtime done the split pay-per-view.
Yeah, how many times have they done that?
I think about twice.
No, three times, isn't it? It's 3 times, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
3 times, right? I'll call them out for you, yeah? Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
All right? I think it was Manny Pacquiao and Floyd. Yeah. And the last one was Klitschko and Joshua. 3.
Wait.
Klitschko, Joshua. Showtime. Klitschko's on Showtime. Sorry, Klitschko's on HBO. Joshua's on Showtime. Right? So that's 3 times they've come together and made mega.
No. Klitschko Joshua. Klitschko Joshua was a Showtime fight.
That was on Showtime, not HBO.
Klitschko was on HBO.
No.
No. He got dropped off HBO. He fought once on HBO against Brian Jennings, and then he got dropped. he got dropped. He
No,
won HBO.
no. The Pulev fight was a no. No, he didn't. No, he didn't.
That was the only time he fought in the States.
No, he didn't. Because I was there. No. It was HBO and Showtime, and they were together. Because at that time, he was still together. That was the contract was still there. Yeah, you don't know, innit? Because look, yeah, I know you don't know. I know this already. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You're saying stuff. I know.
Wait.
Yeah,
Klitschko Joshua was fought in the UK.
Yeah, and it was on HBO, right? It was showed on HBO.
And that fight was shown on Showtime in the States.
It was shown on Showtime and HBO. It was
HBO did not air that fight.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did that fight, right? Because at the time, Eddie Hearn was working. That's why Kelbrook and Golovkin. I was there on the press conference. You can't tell me I know, right? Kelbrook and Golovkin, that was on HBO as well, right? They were working together. And then with RTL, I already know because I got the emails, right? HBO and Showtime were working together. So that was the last time. And that's recent. So what I'm trying to say to you, what you're talking about. It doesn't take long. If they want to, what it happens is there's a willingness for them to make together to make the fight. They will. And that's all. And Bob Arams was saying that. He said, why don't Al Heyman work with us and let's make the bigger fights? He doesn't want to work with us. Now, in this situation, with Fury going over, and Al Heyman and Deontay who wants the rematch, they're going to have to work together and get it done and make a mega fight. Because if you think about it, with ESPN involved, there's more money in the pot now in terms of the American other network involved as well. That's a mega fight. ESPN, Showtime, Sky Sports. Come on, man.
I understand. I understand from the fight. I understand it from the fighter's point of view.
Sorry, BT Sports, not Sky Sports, BT Sports.
I understand the fighter's point of view in regards to, yes, there's more money in the pot, more money. That's why I said to you before, if I was Wilder, I'll go to purse bids. He's getting 60-40 anyways, so whoever gets the network pays the most money.
In the chat. If they had if HBO the replay, they had the fight as well. Why would they air it on HBO? This is what I'm trying to tell you. So I know they were working together because when it was done, I already know the deal. So why would HBO show the replay if it wasn't on their network? This is what I'm trying to say. It was aired live on Showtime, and it was aired live on HBO, and it was aired live on RTL, and it was aired live on Sky Sports. 4 different networks had that fight on. I already know because I was in the whole build up of the week. I was at the hotel. I knew HBO. I saw all the HBO staff. I saw Showtime staff. I saw everything. Anyways, yeah, what I'm saying to you is that the willingness at this point with ESPN, right? And I already reiterated my point already. They'll make it happen and they'll make a mega fight. And your guy, Eddie Hearn and Joshua, are in the cold because when this fight gets pushed, not really.
That's what you want, don't you?
Give an example, right? ESPN, yeah, right? ESPN and New York. With behind ESPN New York, Bob Arum, that's already massive promotion already. And now you have Al Heyman with the Fox network. Like, come on, man, that's a monster. That's it, and that's over there. And over here, we got Fury and BT Sports. Come on, man, it's serious. That's some serious dough. Their money's already up a couple of more million anyway. It's probably like 60 mil a piece, even more than that. 20. I heard it's 20, probably like 25 now. A lot more money in it. So
but you have to think of it. You're talking about ESPN, HBO, and Showtime. What about ESPN and Showtime?
What about them?
Yeah, when's ESPN and Showtime shared?
They air them both at the same time, bro. It's not a problem. That's what I'm saying. It's not a problem.
Look, we have to wait and see and watch this.
I have to wait and see. That's what's gonna happen. They always do that. That's what I'm saying. They air it live on Showtime. They air it live on ESPN. They air it live on Fox, and they're gonna air it live on Sky Sports. That's all the networks involved here. That's all the networks involved.
Yeah, but then you have to think of it like this as well. Like how they're gonna. Yeah, but the thing is how the network's gonna make the money back off this pay-per-view. They hardly broke even, and it was on Showtime alone. So now you're telling them Showtime, the network, to split.
Who hardly broke even? Fury and what?
Fury and Wilder, the first fight, hardly broke even.
Are you crazy? But hardly broke even.
It hardly broke. No. Did
it break even or not? Yes or no?
No, they did.
Did it break even? Hold on. Did it break even? It's not hardly. It's either it did or it didn't. Did it break even?
It broke even. That's what I'm saying to you. If
it broke even, that means they got a profit. Everyone got a profit off it. That's it. You don't hardly either one or the other. If it did or it didn't, and it did, right? And what I'm trying to say to you, that means it was a success. That means there's the demand for it. and definitely there's a demand for the rematch, i.e. ESPN have involved, and that's why everyone wants to jump on board because they can see how much money this can generate. Unlike Joshua and Big Fat Baby Miller that no one really cares about. That's what it is. That's what you're on, Edge. Edge, what you love. Edge, bro. Hey, the hater returns, bro. I love my boy Edge. Big up to Edge, no TV. Big up to Fight over here. And EJ Boss Alive, yeah. Make sure you push the thumbs up and big my boy Edge up, man. And make sure you subscribe to his channel. Go ahead, do your thing, Edge.
Hey, do you know what? Yeah, look, I hope that the Wilder Fury fight happens. I hope so, because at the end of the day, if this fight doesn't happen, I got a feeling that Wilder's gonna fight Kownacki and Tyson Fury is gonna fight Pulev. That's the fight. That's. But you have to admit, did you watch the press conference with Frank Warren, with Frank Warren and Tyson Fury? Did Frank Warren give you any conviction or convince you that this fight was going to be made?
When was this? When was the press? I haven't seen it.
The press conference. That's probably why you're talking with so much confidence. Because if you saw the press conference with Frank Warren and how he was talking about Deontay Wilder fight, he did not sound convincing at all.
You know, the man be sound convincing, and the money's on the table. They join with ESPN. I tell you what, Tyson. I tell you what. I can tell you what.
He said, "Oh, I'm speaking. Bob Arum is sorting out opponents." Why are you saying Bob Arum is sorting out opponents? It's Deontay Wilder. There's no other opponents. It's Deontay Wilder.
No, because if the negotiation, what I'm trying to say, if the negotiation fails, then ESPN and Bob Arum, they'll have another guy lined up. So what I'm trying to say to you is that's if it fails, right? So the team that with ESPN, I worry about Frank Warren and the whole thing with ESPN because Tyson Fury is like, how many promoters am I paying? Well, I'm paying 2 promoters. So why do I need to be with Eddie Hearn? I'm sorry, Frank Warren. So you better worry about Bob Arum not whispering in his ears and say, listen, you don't need to be with Frank. You might as well stay with us. But that's what he should be worried about. If I was him, I'd be getting more grey hairs because he stole him off Mickey Elliott. Is it Mickey Hennessy? He stole him off Mickey Hennessy, right? When Mickey Hennessy was the one who put all the grafting, and now he's there with Bob Arum. Bob Arum might steal him off him. So he needs to mind out. And if they're talking about other opponents and they're not talking about they want to fight, well, listen, Al Heyman doesn't want to deal with Bob Arum. Let's be real. He doesn't want to deal with Bob Arum. But Wilder, listen, I'm saying, yeah, I know that. But it's not Al Heyman at this point has to do what his client wants, and his client wants Fury in the rematch. So consequently, they're gonna have to get it done. That's my point. Wilder wants to fight, and Fury wants to fight. And they've been ordered to get it done. Fury, well, at this point, they'll get it done. If Fury doesn't want to fight Wilder and wants to go on his merry way and fight in America against whoever because they're the linear champion and make whatever, so be it. But at the end of the day, that's not what Fury's come out and said. He said he wants Wilder, or maybe Fury doesn't want that work from Wilder. Either way, we will find out in a couple of days. So I won't be surprised. But I know Bob Arum doesn't want to deal with Al Heyman. Al Heyman doesn't want to do with Bob Arum at all. That's I understand.
So guys, do you want to know what Fury wants? I can tell you what Fury wants.
What's he want?
What?
Fury wants that 80 million pounds.
Okay.
And he doesn't care how he gets it. So at the end of the day, Fury doesn't need Wilder to get paid. He just doesn't.
So yeah, and that's where the situation aligns with. If he, like he said, if he doesn't want that Wilder work, he'll still get 16 million to fight Pulev or fight Oscar Rivas, and that's the problem. That's the problem that Tyson Fury has. And let's look at it like this: if it goes to because look, Tyson Fury, he's not happy with the 60-40. If it goes to purse bids and it's 60-40, and if his 40% split is less than the $16 million is guaranteed from ESPN, then he ain't taking the deal. He ain't taking it. He go and fight Pulev for more money, and that's the problem. And that's the problem that you're gonna have. And that's the problem is, yes, ESPN and Showtime, they might negotiate together, but then it doesn't make no sense for Showtime. It doesn't make no sense for Showtime because Showtime has invested all the money in the first fight. They invested all that money, and it. So what?
They don't matter. You don't understand. You don't understand. When it's on other networks, yeah, they bring more money to the party. What do you mean? What I don't understand. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
if another network's airing it, that brings more viewership, yeah. Because when they bring their subscriber base into the equation, and ESPN brings their bring their viewership. The money automatically goes up. What are you talking about? That's what. Yes,
but that's what I'm saying to you. That's what I'm saying to you.
That don't make no sense though.
Yes, it does make sense because, like, because if you're paying it, let's say, let's say they negotiated. ESPN and Showtime, they negotiated the fight to happen. It's going to be a joint pay-per-view. So it's going to be on pay-per-view in Showtime. It's going to be pay-per-view on ESPN. Yeah? Then they can negotiate and say, fine, if they spend more money on pay-per-view on ESPN, we're getting that money. If it spends more money on Showtime, then you get the money. Then
Edge, if you don't understand about history, about what's been happening from Mike Tyson and Lewis, from Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, right? On them both mega fights, yeah. What are you talking about? They were the most mega. You know why they were mega? Because both networks are involved. It was more money. What are you talking about? It doesn't work like that. If another network comes in, and that's what I'm trying to say, there's another network involved. That means it's huge. That's what I'm saying. There's more money on the thing. But if the Tyson, I don't know what you're saying. From what you're saying, that Fury look like they might be going. If they can't get it done, they're gonna go another way. Well, so be it. But if they're gonna get it done, it's two networks, and that's what it is, and it's more. RTL, Sky Sports, at the time it was Showtime and it was HBO. There was huge. ESPN again. There's another one. You know, ESPN is still involved there. I think they're involved in HBO somewhat, slightly. I think they've got some sort of thing there where they got some sort of, or the same people bought them or something like that. So it's not no different. Okay. It's just more money.
We just have to wait and see because at the moment there's no history at the moment of ESPN doing a joint deal with Showtime. There's no history at the moment. There's nothing to go on to say.
No, you're right. No, I'll give you that. But what I'm trying to say, there was no history ever before between two networks with Mike Tyson at the time and Lennox Lewis. There was no history before, and people say that would never happen because they're both on rival networks and it will never happen. Well, what people said was never happened, and it's happened 3 times already. 3 times. ESPN is not as big as HBO, so end of the day, if the negotiations come down, then it's thing. All it comes down to is Al Heyman's people, like, are they on it? Because I know Bob Arum wants to make that money. I know Bob Arum's interested. I don't think Al Heyman's interested, so we have to say wait and see. Eddie Hearn, or maybe Frank Warren sees something we don't know, and he don't want that Wilder fight either. Maybe they want to go and fight some bums. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like the way that Frank Warren was talking in the interview, if you heard him talk in the interview, he did not seem concerned. He did not sound. Look, unless Frank Warren is lying, he could be lying, and he could come out tomorrow and say, yes, we've negotiated a deal with Tyson Fury and Wilder. This all could be a lie. But from how he was talking with BT Sport and how he was talking with all the interviews that he's done, he did not sound convinced that the fight with Wilder is going to happen. He doesn't sound convinced. He basically said he hasn't spoken to Wilder's team since they've been negotiating with ESPN. So now they've negotiated with ESPN. And he said that Deontay Wilder's team didn't even know this deal was happening. They didn't even know. The first time they knew about it was today.
Oh, that don't mean nothing. You didn't know either. We all found out today.
You're not negotiating with me. You're not negotiating with me.
But we all found at the same time. So no one did. When Frank Warren does deals, you find out on the same day. That's how he is, right?
Yeah. So, but if you're negotiating a super fight.
So he found out today when everyone else found out today, right? So they found out today. So they found out today what Frank Warren's doing. He's joined up with Bob Arum. Again, it goes down to the same thing again. They're going to reach out and the deals change because now Bob Arum is involved. Maybe Al Heyman says, I don't want to talk to Bob Arum. I'll just deal with Frank, which is all right. We don't have to deal with Bob Arum. We can just talk to Frank and get it done because remember, again, it's a co-promotion. And so what if they haven't talked? I mean, you're already going by Frank Warren. You're doing the same thing you always do with Eddie Hearn. Whatever that guy says, that's what's going on. But really and truly, you're only going by
what are you talking about? We talking fine. Let's not go based on Frank Warren. Let's go based what Bob Arum said. He said that Al Heyman is a cancer to boxing.
Yeah.
And how is this fight going to be made? How is this fight going to be made?
What do you say, Edge? What do you say, Edge? Because I was at that press conference asking the questions and asked Bob Arum.
Exactly. Exactly.
I can tell you this, right? The reason why he's doing that, he was trying to sue Al Heyman in court trying to say they were taking all the free TV time and they're taking over boxing. You damn right Al Heyman doesn't want to fucking deal with him. You damn right. No, why though? Because Al Heyman took. Let me just give you a bit of history lesson. Yeah, Al Heyman was the first guy to take the pay-per-view fighters and bring them on network TV before Oscar De La Hoya and before Bob Arum did it before, but he brought them back onto network TV. And because they did it first, they tried to sue him. Both of them, De La Hoya and Bob Arum, they tried to sue him. All right, so now if the guy trying to sue you and all you try to do is look out for the fighter's interest, you calling that guy cancer? Why would you call that guy cancer when he thought, no, 1 minute. He thought of the idea first. And now listen to this. Look at this hypocrisy, yeah? He wanted it on HBO, and now because he couldn't get them, where is he now, Edge? Where is he now? In the same place where Al Heyman set it all up. After the deal finished with ESPN, look whose quick fingers jumped into that slot. Was it not Bob Arum? So why would he want to deal with that same guy when that guy was trying to sue him? So you can't even. So how would Al Heyman cancer when he brought bloody that? And you're basically reiterating a guy. Bob Arum is a hypocrite. He's a hypocrite.
Yeah, but
and
like,
that's what I'm saying. Al Heyman doesn't want to do nothing to do with that hypocrisy and hypocrisy. That's what he is, right?
He's gonna have to deal with Bob Arum if this fight is gonna happen.
No, he can do it. No, he'll do it with Frank Warren. That's why. He'll do it.
No. Because Frank Warren said Bob Arum sorting out the fight.
Here we go.
Bob Arum is sorting it out.
Let me ask you a question. Whose fighter is Tyson Fury? Is it Bob Arum now, or is it Frank Warren?
Bob Arum.
Is that what you think?
So Bob Arum is now Tyson Fury's U.S. promoter.
Cool.
So
and the contract, the $80 million contract is based on him fighting in the U.S.
Listen,
not based on UK fights.
They have a certain amount of fight deal. Listen to this, right? Very clearly, yeah. Right? Al Heyman going to deal. He don't want to do it with Bob Arum, but he'll do it with Frank Warren. Frank Warren is the sole guy who looks after Tyson Fury injury. That's all it is. Bob Arum is least. They've done this before, you know. Nigel Benn came over and fought a couple of fights underneath Bob Arum, but he was still promoted by, I believe it was Frank Warren. They've done this before. He only had like free fight deal.
Yeah, okay.
Tyson Fury's got a free fight deal with Bob Arum, but he's not with Bob Arum. He's with Frank Warren. So what I'm saying is nothing's changed. That's all I'm trying to tell you.
Okay. EJ, let's do this. If you was gonna bet 100 million, £100.
I'm not doing any just.
If you was gonna bet.
You're not gonna catch me on any
just. I'm not gonna catching you. It's not gonna catch you. I'm just gonna say. Look.
You're gonna get me. Go on. Listen.
I'm just saying you're gonna put £100 right now, yeah. And based on this news, and you got £100 on this fight happening or this fight not happening, where would you put your £100 on?
If I had that money, I have got that money. But what you talking about Fury and Wilder? When are you talking? Give me a timeline. Give me a time.
The next. Because Wilder said in an interview on TBV that he's fighting him in May the 18th, if it's Fury or not. Yeah?
Give me, okay.
Fury, so he's fighting on Fury or not. So obviously there's no timeline, but
no, I want you to give me a timeline.
Okay, if you was gonna bet £100, that this fight will be next. Would you put £100 on this fight will be next based on these news right now?
No. You're not giving me a timeline.
No, I said next. Okay, May the 18th. Do you think this fight's gonna be on May the 18th? Next?
No, of course not. No.
Why not?
You understand? Because it's right now you can see with ESPN, and you've just mentioned that Wilder said he's going to fight, and Frank Warren's hinted that he's not really bothered. So of course not. But if you said to me a proper timeline, a year or 2 years, I would have said yeah.
Come on, man, 2 years. Come on.
But listen, Edge. You're betting my money, and I want a timeline, bro. I got a lot of money. You're not taking my money, Edge.
Timeline.
Yeah, I need the timeline.
Your money's gone. Your money's gone.
In 2 years, I say, yeah, of course, within 2 years. But if you're telling me like in a couple of months, yeah, you're mad, bro. Nah, bro, because you know what it is, yeah? Fury got scratched up. He looked like a beaten down dog, yeah, from Wilder. He don't want to get back in with that guy. Wilder's still ready to go. Even though Wilder's clumsy and all that shit, he fucked Fury up, man. He fucked him up. Let me ask a question. The last time Fury got knocked down, yeah, was against Steve Cunningham, and he come back and he won that fight, right? Man got busted up twice down, and he come back. Yeah, he gave a good fight, but he took a lot out of him. You don't want to go back in with that guy, and he don't care how much fucking money they're putting on the table. He don't want it. So that's why I said at the time. So even though he'll take it, as he's a fighting man, but it's not the fight he'd want to fight. So what they do, they'll try to say, well, look, he's lost a lot of weight, right? We can go on an American tour and beat some bums around America and help build up the fight to make it more money. That's what they might do. They might just do that. And Wilder's like, well, fuck it. If you're on that, I'll just go around and beat some bums and we'll get together again because maybe they're not going to work. So, but if you gave me a timeline within 2 years, I'll say it happened.
So let's say that the fight doesn't happen between Wilder and Fury. Fury pulls out. What fight would you like to see Wilder in that you think would be acceptable?
Right now, I feel like Fight Doctor. I'll just tell you right now, I feel like Fight Doctor. I feel like all the questions are put into me. How about we put some questions to the other panelists, yeah, which is the Fight Doctor on mute. Let's ask the Fight Doctor that question.
No, because I already asked the Fight Doctor that question because you're new on. That's why I'm asking you.
I ain't new. I've been here for a minute. Fight Doctor.
Hey, go on then. Look, Fight Doctor, repeat the answer to your question that we said earlier to EJ. So EJ's opinion.
So I honestly, I think if I were Team Wilder, I would be looking at making a Klitschko fight. I mean, what else is there to? Well, I mean, what else is there out there for him to do?
Klitschko's retired, bro.
So yeah, there have been some mumblings about him coming out of retirement, and you know, if I were Team Wilder, then yeah, I would, because you know, AJ fight is not happening. The Fury fight is dead and in the grave. So I mean, what else is there?
Nah, that's not happening. That's not happening. There's some others there, Dillian White.
Yeah, look, Wilder did mention Dillian White. I just don't think it's gonna be Dillian White. I just think it's gonna be Kaunaki or Ortiz next. If he doesn't fight, it's going to be Kaunaki or Ortiz. Listen,
whoever Wilder fights, Wilder's the most exciting fighter on the planet. Fury's one of the most exciting fighters on the planet. AJ's the most exciting.
Wait a minute. Fury's the most exciting fighter on the planet. Look, I like Tyson Fury, but let's not pretend that this guy was the most exciting fighter in the world because he had one fight with Deontay Wilder, and the only reason why that fight was exciting because he got his health, he got the life got knocked out of him, and he got up in the 12th round. That's the only reason why that fight was exciting. Because let's face it, when he fought Klitschko, that fight wasn't exciting. That Klitschko fight. Let's not pretend.
That's why your nickname's the Hater. Return of the Hater. Do this, yeah, right? Fury's last fight with Wilder. That wasn't exciting.
Dude, that's what I mean. That's the only exciting fight, really. Like, what other exciting fights can you say with Fury on it?
When Fury fights, you think people don't want to see people queue up to see Fury fight. They love Fury. They want to see Fury's exciting fight. People love the way he fight. He's got a big mouth, and when he gets in there, because he's 6'9" frame, he does a job on people. He either knocks you out or he completely schools you and makes you look stupid. He's entertainment box office. You can't tell me he's not. Vladimir couldn't hit him with a bag of rice. What are you talking about?
But that fight wasn't entertaining, though.
Entertaining.
I'm not saying, look.
I won the heavyweight championship. I was there watching that, and you was biting your nose to see if the German judges are going to be fair, and he won it. What are you talking about? It was exciting when we watched it. But listen to this. AJ's fight against Klitschko was better. So, but you can't tell me Fury and Klitschko wasn't exciting. It was a good fight because Klitschko was getting schooled. Right, so I don't know what you're coming off with there. You like Fury's not exciting. He is.
Yeah, no, I don't. Look, that fight wasn't exciting. Fight. I mean, he didn't hardly throw any punches. It was a boring fight for me. I know, yes, don't get me wrong. It was a boring fight, but Tyson Fury did what he had to do in there. He skilled and schooled Klitschko in that fight, which was very good for it. But it wasn't entertaining. It wasn't an entertaining fight. Let's not pretend it was.
No, that fight was a snooze fest. I mean,
you guys are number one haters.
You know, you needed coffee and cocaine to stay woke for that fight. Okay, you did.
You guys are bad, man. At the time when I watched it, it was I bet money on Fury, and I won my money. It was the most exciting fight I saw that year. It was beautiful.
Come on. Oh my God.
You and Fight Doctor give me joke. I can't believe Fight Doctor. You're agreeing with the hater number 2. I can't believe what's going on, man. This guy edges.
Hey, come on, man. Come on. Like, you know,
that was exciting.
You're taking it too far. Now.
You don't think it was an exciting fight?
No, I mean, look. Look, I think it was a good fight from Tyson Fury, but entertaining. No, it wasn't. It was like a one-sided. It was a one-sided fight. It was just like Klitschko didn't even.
I mean, how many punches were thrown in that fight?
I think
like
84. Klitschko didn't even throw a punch. I don't think he even threw a punch in that fight at all.
You don't listen.
I think he may have tried to throw one punch, but I don't think he even threw a punch in that. So. But anyways, like, look, we've talked about this Fury thing to death. We haven't even talked about Billy Joe Saunders. What's going on with Billy Joe Saunders? Like,
no one cares about him. But let's talk about Billy Ho. Let's talk about Billy Ho.
Yeah, but Billy. Look, this is the question I want to say. There's a lot of people that's saying that, like, Demetrius Andrade, he's a paper champion. He hasn't taken the belt off Billy Joe Saunders. But but we have to look at it like in a realistic way, because Billy Joe Saunders, he had the chance to fight Demetrius Andrade, and he failed a drugs test. So he failed the drugs test, so that fight didn't happen. So Demetrius Andrade fought the next best person. So then now he's mandatory. They ordered the mandatory between Billy Joe and Demetrius Andrade, and he's pulled out to move up in weight and fight for a vacant belt. So at the end of the day, Demetrius, so we have to stop talking about. Do we stop talking about Demetrius Andrade as his paper champion? Because at the end of the day, he's tried to fight Billy Joe Saunders twice, and Billy Joe Saunders has backed out twice.
Yeah. So who's a paper champion? Billy Joe Saunders, yeah.
No. I mean, people are saying Demetrius Andrade is a paper champion because he hasn't proved himself or fought Billy Joe, but if he's tried to fight Billy Joe and he's failed a drugs test and he's moved up in weight and refused to fight Andrade, it's not Andrade's fault, right?
No, I agree. No, I agree with you 100%. No, I agree with you. That's absolutely right. Andrade trying to make the fight. Billy Ho ran for the hills and
so
dealers and kinds of shit. I don't know what kind of fuck she's on. And he's put on weight. That guy's not serious, because you know what, he knew he was gonna get beat up. I've been around people like that in the gym. Right, they know the beating. I had some kids here. I arranged some sparring. I arranged some stuff for them. And the sparring, I arranged it the week before. Not like I'm talking about on a Sunday. And I said the sparring's on a Friday night. They said, "Yeah, coach, we're gonna be there." This is the day of the sparring. Within hours to go, they pulled out. Oh, I've got something else going on. Really? You pulled out hours to go? Hours to go, you pulled out. Why? Because you didn't want it. You didn't want it. You know why you didn't want it? You're worried that stuff started to get in your head. Like, I'm gonna get beat up. I'm gonna get beat up, and that's what happened. That's what I reckon with Billy Joe. That's why he's put on weight and he's depressed, because he ain't got no balls, man. And he fights that way anyway, in my eyes as well. Against guys he knows he can beat. Yeah, Eubank and that. It was a good fight with Eubank. It was all right. But Andrade, nah, he didn't want none of that. He never wanted none of that. I looked at his boy, I said, bro, if that guy turns up, yeah, I'll give him bare props. He never wanted to turn up. And he has consequently drugged. You can see by his antics what he was doing, throwing chicken at people. People reckon he's on drugs anyway, he's snorting as well, No, I mean, I don't know if he is though, but
yeah, that's the thing. Let's have a look. That's like Glennis Wright talk about. I don't know. Does it mean what we're talking about, or I don't know for that? He says. Oh, sorry. All walked away. Yeah. So Glennis Wright is saying talk about. Don't know what he means by talk about. I don't know. But yeah. So Ayobs is saying he can't take drugs, so he can't cut weight. I mean, he was fighting at cruiserweight in his last fight. I was thinking, how the hell did he manage to blow up that big? So now he's fighting at 168. I think, me personally, I think he's fighting at 168 because he can't get down to 160. That's what I think he is, because he fought at cruiserweight, and it's very difficult. And obviously, there was Christmas time as well. It's very difficult to, not Christmas time. He fought, was it before Christmas that he fought? Yeah, it was before. Yeah, it was before Christmas that he fought. So it was Christmas time and stuff, and he probably had some lots of Christmas turkey and stuff. And I don't think he can go down to 160. That's what I think personally. And the belt happened to be vacant, and he's now fighting for the vacant belt. So because I think that if he could go down to 160, he should have fought Andrade, to be fair, and not fight for a vacant belt at 160. So, but now they're trying to convince people that he's fighting at 168, so he can win the belt, and try to convince Canelo to fight him at 168 if he beats Daniel Jacobs. But
yeah, I think that's the angle.
But that's all on the presumption of Canelo's going to beat Jacobs, what if Jacobs beats Canelo, which can possibly happen. It's not a guarantee that's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? So, if Jacobs beats Canelo, then what's going to happen then? Then Billy Joe Saunders is going to be up in a weight division. He's not going to be good enough. He's not going to be good enough for that weight division with a belt, and he ain't going to have. He's going to struggle to get fights.
So here's what happens. I think if Jacobs beats Alvarez, there's definitely going to be a rematch.
Yes.
Which, as I understand it, so you have Golovkin who's fighting Andrade in, was it May?
I'm not sure, but I'm not sure when that's going to happen.
So I think if Canelo loses to Jacobs and Sanders is sitting at 168 with that WBO title, that he might be able to entice Golovkin to come up to 168.
Nah.
I mean, what is Golovkin going to do? I mean, listen, if Alvarez loses to Jacobs, then there's going to be a rematch, which means 2019 is out for Golovkin fighting Alvarez in the rubber match. So what else do you do if you're Golovkin? Fight Charlo? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, that's look, I mean, it is an option for sure, because I think Canelo's gonna Andrade versus Triple G. I like that fight. I think that's an interesting fight, and I think the middleweight 160 is also a good fight. It's gonna be happening. Triple G versus Andrade and Jacobs versus Canelo. I think that's two interesting fights. But like I said, even if Triple G loses to Andrade, I still think that Triple G versus Billy Joe Saunders will be a good fight still, because he's moving up in weight, and then he can fight for another vacant belt. So I still think that option will be available to him if he even if he loses to Andrade. Yeah. So I think that'll be a good option. But then at the same time, it's all if, buts, and maybes. I just don't obviously he's got a chance to get another belt, but then in the long term, I don't think it's a wise option for him to go straight at Canelo, because if he went and fought Andrade and beat Andrade, he will be in line to face Canelo next. Do you know what I mean? Because then he's got a belt.
Mm.
So at that 160 division, and at 168, Canelo is a very small 168 fighter. I mean, look how small he was to Rocky Fielding. Rocky Fielding's not a good fighter.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, Rocky Fielding's good. Rocky Fielding's not even a fighter, bro. I don't know what he is. I don't know why. Who put that kid, and told him he was a fighter? The guy looked like a school teacher, bro. He was a horrible beating he took from Canelo. That was horrible, bro. But you know what? It made me laugh. Yeah, it's like, why did Eddie Hearn? Eddie Hearn. Yeah, has done the most diabolical things ever. I can keep going back. First off, Devin Alexander versus Lee Purdy. Right, Lee Purdy. Eddie Hearn is a tough guy. He's what are these? Right, he comes to the gym by himself. He's so tough. He put him in Devin Alexander, and the night of the thing, he had him in a sauna trying to make weight because he was overweight. So he came into the fight overweight and got a beating. Then he put him with Leonard Bundu, and Leonard Bundu busted him up so badly he's got sinus problems up to now, and I think he's got vertigo. That's another one. Then he put Kell Brook in there with Triple G, right? Kell Brook and Triple G should nowhere have been in the same fucking room and got his orbital bone smashed up. Then, not on top of that, he made him defend his belt against one of the most dangerous guys in the division against Errol Spence, and got his other eyes all messed up. That's what he did. That's what. And Joshua, you know what? You know what's gonna happen with Joshua? He's gonna end up the same way, bro. Big Baby might upset him. I'm gonna put money down on Big Baby might upset him in America. Don't be surprised, then. Andy Joshua gets knocked out, innit?
I don't know, man. Tyson Fury ain't worried at all. He said he schooled him in sparring, knocked him out like 7-8 times.
AJ?
No. Fury, he knocked him down 7-8 times in sparring, and he sent him home after a day. He said, I need more last light. I need more better work.
Knocked who down? Who did he knock down? He
knocked down Jarrell Miller like 7-8 times in sparring, and he sent him home after one day. Yeah, he sent him home after one day.
He's full of shit. Fury's full of shit though. He's always full of shit. He lies too much.
Yeah, but Jarrell Miller. Jarrell Miller ain't refuted it yet though. Like if you're coming out,
you know why? Because he's in training for a world championship bout. Why would he care about?
Oh man, he has to come out and say something. If someone's saying that, come on. If someone's saying that, like publicly.
Who did he say it to? Did he say it to the UK press or did he say it to the American press?
No, he said it to the UK press. It was at
how's the big baby gonna hear that if he's not in America?
Man,
what are you talking about? The big baby sits down there and waits for the UK. He's in America. He's 5 hours behind. How the heck he's gonna find out? Edge, like, don't make no sense.
He found out last time, didn't he? So
yeah, he's in training for the heavyweight championship. He don't care what Fury say. Why would he care what Fury say? He's training for AJ. Come on, man. Look, Edge, you need to get
he's gonna find out. The press conference is gonna be tomorrow between AJ and Fury and AJ and Miller.
Who's Ozo in the chat? This guy hating on me, something different.
Yeah, man. Aobs is cool. man. Like, he's just correcting you on certain things. That's all it is.
I think your Nigerian cousin or something like that. Obi, yeah.
I'm not Nigerian.
I know you're not Nigerian. You're right. You're not Nigerian. My bad.
But yeah. No, Aobs is just he's
a hater. He's doing the hating club.
Aobs is cool, man. Aobs is cool.
Of course, man. I know where you find
stuff. Anyways,
I know where you find the hating club. They just come to hate DJ. Wait, let it.
Hey. Do you know what? Hey, what do you think about AJ versus Miller press conference tomorrow? Do you think it's gonna be fire, or do you think it's gonna be like all like nice and calm?
Yeah, probably be calm because he's got his money.
Yeah,
it's probably because he's got his money. Big baby, I don't see Big Baby going wilding out. He's just like, when's the fight? It's the first press. He'd probably be cool. He might start talking shit because he can't help himself. But how did I know? How did he know I was Nigerian? I know, bro. Come on, bro. Hey, when AJ's involved, bro, you know, bro. What's up, bro? Listen. But what I'm saying is this, yeah. Listen. No, I don't expect him to. If you ask me, I don't expect him. But if he did, I wouldn't be surprised. But because you know why, Edge? Because he's making that money now, isn't it? He's got what he wants, so I'm relaxed and cool. And AJ is like, well, AJ might be a bit tight though because man said stuff about his mom's, bro. You know what I'm saying? I can imagine AJ might go for him, right? Because AJ's like, bro, this guy needs to learn, you know. You need to learn. There's levels to this game. And this guy said something about my mums, and I'm not really, AJ might go, I'm going to make him pay for it. I can see AJ saying that, bro. But
this is the thing, though, because, like, the only time I see AJ being a little bit pissed and a little bit aggy was when he was with Dominic Brazil, and it's like, hey, you're not about that life. Don't come to me like that. You're not about that life. Do you know what I mean? He was like proper like on Brazil, like. So now, and after that, Miller was like, hey, I'm not Dominic Brazil. You're not gonna do that to me. You're not coming to Brooklyn and start talking greasy to me. So this is gonna be interesting. If Anthony Joshua starts saying, hey, you don't know about that life. You don't know about that life to Miller. How Miller's gonna react? It's like, what? I don't know about what? Do you want to step outside? I'll tell you about the life.
No, about that life.
It's gonna be interesting.
That's a Northwest London thing, isn't it? You're not about that life. But listen to this, yeah. Whatever. AJ, this to be real, AJ's not like that, yeah. But AJ's very sensitive. But I think if AJ's smart, I think he plays off. I don't care what Miller says. It's just another opponent. It's just another thing I got to do, another obstacle I got to get through. You know, he's a good opponent. He's done what he's done to get to this far, and I look forward to fighting him. AJ's gonna come with that bullshit, right? But because he's never showed emotional. But so if Miller starts interrupting him, AJ might start getting showing his real chin. Because AJ, let's be real, Edge, yeah, and Fight Doctor. If you're in a situation where you've heard a guy, well, he didn't do it to your face, but you've heard a man say stuff about one of your relatives. Tell me how you feel And AJ, tell me how you feel about that guy, and tell me you don't want to put hands on that guy, bro.
Hey, do you know what? If I was AJ, I'll be different than AJ. I'll be more like Tyson Fury in there. I'll be like, hey, you talk about my mama. You talk about my mama. Yeah, mama said knock you out.
Talking about somebody's mother. That's normally, those are fighting words.
I know they're fighting words. So like, I'll be straight up talking. I'll be in a press conference saying what Miller's saying about my mom. I can't wait. We'll fight right now. We'll fight right now. You know what I mean? And I'll be proper like, you know. That's all I want AJ to do.
Miller might just straight off the bat say, listen, after I beat you, I'm gonna take your moms to dinner. Bruh, listen, where's the way?
Do you know what? Like, I want no. Do you know this is what I said? I said this in the last show I did. I said, look, I want AJ to go in and be all greasy in there. Like, I want AJ to be like, hey man, you know, like, oh yeah, in the UK I'm a little bit calm, but now I'm a little bit on the edge at the moment because Miller's been saying some trash about me. I'm not taking that stuff. Do you know what I mean? Come to America and say, yeah. And he goes, oh, what do you think about Wilder? We don't care about Wilder and Fury. I'm the man in the States. I'm taking over New York right now. I'm running New York. If he come out and start saying that, like, I'll tell you right now, it'll be fire, mate. It'll be fire.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, personally, like, I just look, it's a fight. Eddie Hearn is looking at that. It'd be good for you, but I wouldn't. If I was AJ, I would have stayed away from that bullshit, though. Because Big Mama, he's baited him. Big Mama's got what he wanted. Because look, Dillian White says stuff about AJ, saying all this and saying this and saying that, and he got the fight because he talked himself into the fight, right?
Yeah. Now
maybe he wasn't ready, whatever. Big Mama has done the same thing. So it's like, if you scream the loudest, Eddie Hearn's like, oh, he's making the most noise. He might make us the most money. Let's go there. But Eddie Hearn is not the one who they're screaming at, if you know what I mean. They're not saying nothing about Eddie Hearn's mum, but yeah, he's putting me into the firing line of this guy open up his mouth. I mean, for the fighter, it's very emotional that this guy's saying stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's a very emotional thing. The fighter, the name that this guy says some like vicious stuff about people I care about, that's a vicious thing. And how the fighter's dealing with that, it's like trying to control, because you know, fighter, it's all about control for a fighter. You know, you got a game plan, you got to work to the game plan. You make sure you get on weight. You know, certain things you need to do. If you know, you got to follow the game plan through. And AJ, to be fair, is like, bro, this guy says something about my mum. And it's like, how, you know what I mean? How many people gonna talk AJ? Bro, don't listen. He's just saying that because he wants to fight. But now he's got the fight. And man, still talking about my mums.
Yeah,
hey,
exactly. And that's
6 foot something, you know. Hey, listen, be honest question, right? AJ is not 6 foot something. How many people in his real life, AJ or his size, has said AJ heard say something about his parents? Like, when you're 6 foot something of AJ size, people don't readily just come out and disrespect you. You know what I mean? They have to run for their life. But this bitch here has come out and just blatantly trying to dip the chat, bro. This is serious shit, you know? Yes.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the press conference tomorrow, man. I just want to see what's gonna happen. I hope that Miller kicks off. I hope Miller just kicks off and switches, and then gets AJ. Yeah, I want Miller to switch. I'll switch on him and say, yeah. Oh, I remember last time I promised to go and take your mum out on a date. I just wanted to say it so badly. I want to see AJ in. I know A wants to say I want to see AJ in savage mode. I just want to see him in savage mode. Like, he's like, yeah.
Eddie Hearn might have told him, look, just don't mention his mum and we'll be all right. And Eddie Hearn might have told him to.
I'd be like, man, if I was Miller, I'd be like, has that check cleared in the bank yet? Okay. Hey, your mama.
You know what? Listen, if it worked, why not go back into it again? I mean, I wouldn't do it.
Listen, if Miller is smart, he will try to get inside of AJ's head.
Yeah, that's right. It looks like you can get into his head easy. To me.
I think that AJ gets pissed off easily. And I think that, you know, he gets pissed off, and if someone gets into his face, he's not gonna lay down. Do you know what I mean? So I think that Miller, the only way, if I was Miller and I was serious about winning this fight, I'll be playing mind games and I'll be going straight into it in savage mode, talking about his mom, whatever. Do you know what I mean? I'll you know.
Yeah, but you know what? Let me ask you a question, right? If you talk about someone's mums, yeah, just in general, right? How many people does it alienate? Does it not alienate the judges? Everyone around you, people can't stand you. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No, I'm not saying.
Everyone's got a mum, yeah? AJ's got that halo. I know what you're saying, but if he does it, I mean, people like Umar and low plays, they're laughing, and maybe some other people laugh, but he didn't work well with James the Girl, disrespecting George Groves about his ginger hair, call him a ginger biscuit, and go, oh, look at him ginger, and saying that when it came to the scorecards in England, that's what he reckoned, and I reckon that's what went against him, because he took it there. So it doesn't play into your interest. You got a lot of old school people into boxing, and they don't like that stuff, mate. They don't like that stuff.
Yeah, but the key thing about in regards to this is that now I don't agree. I wouldn't go in and start talking about people's mums. I'll keep it. If I was trash talking, I would be more like Tyson Fury or Muhammad Ali. I'll do a little rap or something like that. I wouldn't go full like talking about people's mums and this and that and the other. But like Joe Miller is still talking about AJ's mum even up until recently when he's saying I'll still take your mum for a date. Do you know what I mean? So he hasn't stopped. Do you know
is he still on the mountain?
Yeah. That's what I mean. So he hasn't stopped. So if he hasn't stopped up until this point, I got a feeling that I wouldn't be surprised tomorrow if he goes and starts talking about it tomorrow at the press conference. Because if you're Miller and you know that's gonna set him off, then why not? That's gonna piss him off, and and if I was AJ, I would anticipate. If I'm AJ and I'm smart, I would anticipate that's what Miller's gonna try and do. He's gonna try and get into your head, and I would not bite. I would not fall for it. I'd be strictly business.
I'm buying. But the thing is, I'm like that myself. I'm buying it because that's my personality. But listen to this, right? He's gonna say stuff about his moms. Listen. If I was AJ, I'll turn up, because remember he's the champ, yeah. Because I remember David Haye did that to Klitschko. He disrespected Klitschko in a way, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. He disrespected him in a way. And did it work? It's weak to me. It's weak. But you see, the thing is, yeah, that's what the depths of what some people do, yeah, to try and get things go their way. But in my opinion, I just think, I just don't like it. Just don't like it. This the way it is, man. I don't like that stuff.
Well, we're gonna find out. I guess we'll find out tomorrow anyway. So, anyways, it's 12 o'clock. Been 2 hour show. So I'm gonna be jumping off. Going to get some rest. Out there. But yeah. So thanks for EJ, Boxing Fight Doctor. If you guys haven't subscribed to EJ Boxing, go and do so. It's got a very interesting show called The Haters. It's got a few interesting people on there.
The Hate Report. Let's get it right. The Hate Report featuring
what's that?
The Hate Report featuring Edge and Low Place and featuring Ben Umar, the Return of the Hater. Check it out.
So check it out. It's very interesting. Even though it says haters, those guys have very interesting stuff to say. So listen to it. Listen to it. It's very interesting. So and they got Fight Doctor as well. So very interesting. Thanks for coming on with your input as well. If you guys got anything you guys want to say?
Nah, man, great show, Edge, man. We appreciate it, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah. I might do another show tomorrow, just talking about the press conference. But if not, I'm gonna do my normal show on Thursday, where I'm gonna be previewing the DeGale and Chris Eubank Jr. fight. So if you guys are listening, I'm gonna be back on Thursday, late at night, same time, talking about James DeGale and Chris Eubank preview, and talking about the Miller press conference and all the extras, goodies that we're talking about. Hopefully, we'll hear Wilder Fury 2 news. And EJ's prediction is right, that they've all kumbaya and is going to happen.
This guy.
And good news. Thanks to everybody who's been talking in the chat, from Tank, Gain and Grip, Aobs, what's happening, Lawrence Williams, Hamid, so thanks for everybody who's talking in the chat. And I'll be back on Thursday. If the first time you're watching this, hit that like button and
hit the like button, people.
Hit that like button, and also as well, if you're watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button. And anything you want me to talk about, let me know, and I'm gonna talk about it.